Oh, remember me, nice and warm, staring at the sun. Welcome back to Celebrity Thread. Taylor Swift has never treated the red carpet as just a place to pose for photos. For her, it has often felt like an extension of the story she is telling at that moment in her life. Every gown, every color choice, every silhouette, every accessory, and even every beauty decision can feel connected to the chapter she is in, musically, emotionally, and publicly. Over the years, Taylor has gone from country sweetheart to global pop phenomenon, from glittering ingenue to sharp-edged reinvention queen, and now an artist whose every appearance is examined for artistic clues, emotional subtext, and hints about what may be coming next. Her red carpet style has evolved right alongside her music, and that is part of what makes it so fascinating to look back on. Some stars wear beautiful dresses. Taylor does that too, of course. But what makes her red carpet history stand out is the way certain looks seem to capture the exact emotional temperature of an era. Sometimes she leans into old Hollywood glamour. Sometimes she embraces softness and romance. Sometimes she shows up looking futuristic, dangerous, mysterious, playful, or heartbreakingly elegant. And because her career has been built on detail, symbolism, and the art of reinvention, fans have learned to look closely. A neckline is never just a neckline. A color is never just a color. A necklace set to midnight is never just jewelry. In Taylor's world, fashion can become subtext, foreshadowing, armor, confession, celebration, or even a wink to the audience. Today, we are counting down what many consider Taylor Swift's 10 best red carpet looks of all time. This ranking is not only about which outfits were the prettiest, the boldest, or the most expensive. It is about impact. It is about how unforgettable each moment was. It is about how the fashion connected to the music, to the mood of the event, and to the version of Taylor the world was seeing in that exact moment. Some of these looks were glamorous. Some were daring. Some divided opinion at first and later became iconic. And some instantly entered the Taylor Swift Fashion Hall of Fame the second she stepped onto the carpet. At number 10, we have Taylor's look from the 2023 MTV Video Music Awards, and this was one of those appearances where she seemed to fully understand the mood of the night and dress accordingly. The VMAs are rarely about safe elegance. They thrive on edge, drama, attitude, and just the right amount of rockstar chaos. Taylor arrived in a black Versace gown that felt sleek, sharp, and unapologetically glamorous. The dress featured an asymmetric neckline and a dangerously high slit, balancing sophistication with a bold, almost rebellious energy. It was one of those outfits that made an immediate impression because it felt both classic and slightly untamed at the same time. What really elevated the look was the styling. She layered on gold and diamond jewelry in a way that gave the outfit texture and drama without overwhelming it. Instead of looking overly polished, it felt intentionally decadent, like someone dressing for a victory lap, but still wanting to keep a little bite in the final presentation. Her makeup pushed the look even further in that direction. The inky black eyeshadow and dramatic cat eye gave her face intensity and attitude, while her softly tousled waves added that slightly undone rocker girl finish. Altogether, it was sultry, glamorous, and a little dangerous, which made it perfect for an event like the VMAs. And then there is the context, which matters so much when talking about Taylor's best fashion moments. She was not just attending the event, she was dominating it. That night, Taylor took home 9 awards, reinforcing once again that she was not simply part of the current pop landscape, she was defining it. There is something so satisfying about a red carpet look that matches the energy of the winner's circle. She looked like someone ready to celebrate, ready to perform, ready to dance, and ready to command the room. The outfit had movement, confidence, and star power, and because of that, it became one of the standout fashion moments of that year. At number 9 is the 2018 American Music Awards, a look that still stands out because it so perfectly captured the confidence and steeliness of the Reputation era. Taylor arrived in a dazzling silver sequined Balmain mini dress paired with matching thigh-high silver boots, and it was one of those appearances where the outfit immediately announced itself before she even spoke. There was no softness here, no attempt to play sweet or delicate. This was commanding, bold, and unapologetically high impact. It shimmered under the lights like armor made for the dance floor. The mini dress itself was striking enough, but the boots pushed the look into another realm entirely. Together, they created something that felt futuristic, glamorous, and almost confrontational in the best possible way. It was a look that said Taylor had returned. She knew exactly who she was, and she was not going to shrink herself to make anyone comfortable. The mirror-like squares across the outfit gave it the quality of a disco ball, which at the time sparked countless fan theories. People wondered whether the reflective nature of the look symbolized fragmentation, image, performance, identity, or some larger hidden message Taylor was planting long before anyone knew how much she would continue exploring those ideas in her work. That night itself was also historic. Taylor broke records by becoming the female artist with the most American Music Awards wins ever, a massive achievement that made the whole look even more memorable. She had opened the show with one of her most iconic performances, and by the time she appeared on the carpet and then throughout the night, she was not just wearing a flashy outfit. She was wearing the visual language of triumph, the silver shimmer, the powerful shape, the dramatic boots. It all felt like Reputation distilled into fashion. What makes this look even more interesting in hindsight is how fans later connected it to the deeper symbolism Taylor would explore in Mirrorball on Folklore. While it is impossible to say every fashion choice was a direct clue, the visual echo is fascinating. The idea of the Mirrorball is deeply Taylor coded. It reflects light, it entertains. It is beautiful because it has been broken into countless tiny pieces and then reassembled into something luminous. That metaphor aligns so strongly with the public life of a celebrity and with Taylor's own recurring themes of reinvention, emotional survival, and performing versions of yourself for different audiences. So even if the 2018 AMA's look was first read as pure reputation glam, it also seems to foreshadow a more introspective meditation on celebrity, performance, and fragility that she would articulate later in song. That layered retrospective meaning is exactly why this outfit remains so compelling. At number 8 is the Eras Tour concert film premiere, where Taylor stepped onto the carpet in a light blue Oscar de la Renta gown that felt romantic, regal, and incredibly fitting for the significance of the event. This was not just another movie premiere. It was a celebration of one of the biggest tours in modern music history, a film event that honored a once-in-a-generation cultural phenomenon. Her dress rose to meet that moment. Made of velvet and decorated with floral embroidery, the gown had cutouts, a plunging neckline, a cinched waist, and a train that floated behind her in a way that made the entire look feel ceremonial. There was something beautifully theatrical about this appearance, but it was not theatrical in a cold or costume-like way. It felt emotional. Fans immediately picked up on the way the look seemed to carry echoes of multiple Taylor eras at once. The romantic floral elements and dreamy blue tone gave many people speak now energy, while the soft waves in her hair reminded others of her 1989 styling. That blend made sense because the Eras Tour itself is about looking across her entire artistic life and honoring every chapter, every transformation, every version of herself that audiences had grown with over the years. The silver jewelry added just enough sparkle and edge to prevent the overall styling from becoming too soft or predictable. That balance is part of what made the look such a success. It was elegant and fairy tale like, but still modern. It was nostalgic, but not trapped in the past. It celebrated the scale and magic of the Eras Tour while also reminding everyone that Taylor remains very much in motion creatively. The outfit did not scream for attention in the aggressive way some red carpet fashion does. Instead, it glowed. It felt like the visual equivalent of a standing ovation, tender, majestic, and fully aware of the history being honored that night. At number 7, we have one of Taylor's boldest and most debated transformations ever, the 2016 Met Gala. If there was ever a night where Taylor seemed to step out of one universe and into another right in front of the public, this was it. She embraced the Manus Ex Machina, fashion in an age of technology theme, with a silver metallic Louis Vuitton dress that felt futuristic, edgy, and unlike almost anything she had worn before. The cut was sharp, the finish was metallic, and the attitude behind the entire look was unmistakably different. But more than the dress itself, what truly made this red carpet appearance unforgettable was everything around it. The platinum blonde hair, the dark, nearly black lipstick, the fierce expression. The entire styling package created a version of Taylor that shocked people because it seemed to reject the polished, romantic image so many had associated with her up to that point. There was something icy and confrontational about it, something experimental and a little dangerous. And when people look back now, it is almost impossible not to view the look through the lens of what came next. The following year, Taylor released Reputation, an album shaped by media scrutiny, personal fallout, public reinvention, and the reclamation of narrative. In retrospect, the 2016 Met Gala appearance feels almost like a visual prologue to that era. Whether it was intentional foreshadowing or simply the early stirrings of an evolving artistic mood, the parallels are hard to ignore. The silver metallic textures, the harder styling choices, the colder glamour, and the almost villainous beauty all seem to point toward the darker, more defiant energy that Reputation would later embrace so fully. What makes this look great is not that it was universally loved. In fact, part of its power comes from how jarring it felt. Great fashion moments do not always arrive wrapped in instant approval. Sometimes they matter because they mark a turn in the story, because they reveal a willingness to unsettle expectations. This look did that. It was bold, thematic, risky, and unforgettable. It was Taylor stepping into a more dangerous silhouette of herself, and even now, it remains one of the clearest examples of her using fashion not just to impress, but to transform. At number 6 is the 2016 Grammy Awards, another look from the 1989 era, but this one expressed a totally different side of Taylor. Where the Met Gala look was futuristic and hard-edged, this Grammys look was bright, playful, and fashion-forward in a way that still managed to feel fearless. Taylor wore a custom two-piece Versace ensemble featuring a vivid orange bandeau top and a sweeping hot pink skirt with a dramatic slit. It was colorful, unexpected, and instantly eye-catching. Some people might have hesitated to combine those particular shades, but Taylor made it work because she wore them with total conviction. This outfit felt like a fashion risk in the best sense. It had the excitement of someone who knew she was at the top of her game and was willing to have fun with the visual language of that moment. The bold color blocking made her stand out immediately, and the silhouette gave her the perfect mix of elegance and edge. The skirt still had that red carpet grandeur people expect from a major awards show, but the crop top kept the look modern, youthful, and just a little daring. Add in the sleek bob, the choker necklace, the gold sandals, and the sharp confidence she carried all night, and it became one of the most memorable Grammys looks of the decade. And again, context matters. This was a landmark night in Taylor's career. She won Album of the Year for 1989, cementing that record not just as a commercial success, but as a defining artistic statement. The fashion reflected that triumph. It was vibrant, sharp, and unmistakably current. It did not feel like someone trying to blend into the old image of red carpet glamour. It felt like an artist claiming the present. That is part of why this look still gets talked about. It was daring enough to be memorable, polished enough to be iconic, and tied to such a huge professional victory that it instantly became part of Taylor's larger mythology. At number 5 is Taylor's look from the 2024 Grammy Awards, an appearance that managed to feel both timeless and loaded with symbolism. She wore a white Schiaparelli gown with long black gloves, and the contrast between the purity of the dress and the drama of the gloves immediately made the look stand out. It was elegant, structured, and very old Hollywood in silhouette, but it also carried a kind of tension that made it feel far more modern than a simple classic gown. It was glamorous, yes, but not gentle. There was a sense of theatrical intelligence behind it. The sculpted bodice and voluminous skirt created a strong visual line, making the entire outfit feel statuesque and commanding. She did not look sweet or delicate in it, she looked deliberate. The black gloves added a stark note of drama that made the white dress feel less bridal and more literary, more cinematic, more haunted. It was one of those red carpet looks that invites interpretation because it feels so carefully built. And then there was the watch choker, one of the most discussed accessories of the night. The time appeared to be set to midnight, which instantly sent fans into theory mode. It was difficult not to read it as a reference to Midnights, the album that won Album of the Year that evening. But because this is Taylor Swift, and because her symbolism often works on multiple levels at once, many also saw it as a broader visual clue about time, endings, beginnings, secrecy, anticipation, and the midnight threshold between one story and the next. In retrospect, the whole look also felt deeply connected to the emotional and visual world of the Tortured Poets Department, the album she announced that night. After the release, many people looked back and saw in the black and white styling, the severe glamour, and the almost poetic melancholy of the outfit a clear bridge into that project's aesthetic. Some even noted that the silhouette suggested a bird-like elegance, echoing imagery that would later resonate with songs like The Albatross. Whether every detail was consciously planted or not, the overall effect was unmistakable. Taylor used this fashion moment not merely to look beautiful, but to create atmosphere. She seemed to arrive on the carpet already living inside the emotional weather of her next chapter. At number 4 is the 2023 Grammy Awards, where Taylor appeared in a midnight blue Roberto Cavalli two-piece that felt like a perfect companion to her Midnights era. The outfit consisted of a shimmering crop top and a matching floor-length skirt adorned with sparkling embellishments that resembled stars scattered across a night sky. It was glamorous, celestial, and unmistakably themed without ever tipping into costume. The moment she appeared, it felt as if she had walked straight out of the visual universe of Midnights and onto the carpet. The deep blue color alone was gorgeous on her, but what made the look especially successful was how cohesive every element felt. The glittering details across the outfit caught the light beautifully and gave the whole ensemble a dreamy, cosmic texture. Her oversized blue gemstone earrings added just the right amount of drama, and because her hair was styled in an elegant updo, the jewelry and neckline remained fully visible. That styling choice kept the look clean while still allowing it to feel luxurious and high impact. Her signature red lip brought in a bit of classic Taylor, grounding the celestial shimmer with something familiar and powerful. This was also a meaningful night for her artistically. She won Best Music Video for All Too Well, the short film, a project that carried enormous emotional weight not only because of the song's status within her catalog, but because it represented another milestone in her reclamation journey. All Too Well had long held a special place in the hearts of fans, beginning as a beloved deep cut and evolving over time into something almost sacred within the Taylor Swift universe. When she expanded it into the 10-minute version and then brought it to life through a short film she wrote, directed, and starred in, it became an event. It was a gift to the fans, yes, but also a demonstration of just how fully she could translate memory, heartbreak, detail, and narrative into multiple forms of art. That is part of what makes the 2023 Grammys look so memorable. It was glamorous on its own, but it was also attached to a night when Taylor was being recognized not just as a songwriter or performer, but as a visual storyteller. The midnight blue outfit shimmered like a starfield, and in a way that felt appropriate. By that point in her career, she had become not just a pop star, but a world builder. The look reflected that scale beautifully. At number 3 is the 2021 Grammy Awards, one of Taylor's most divisive red carpet looks and also one of her most instantly recognizable. She wore a custom Oscar de la Renta floral mini dress that seemed to bloom across the carpet. The dress featured colorful embroidered flowers, sheer fabric, and long sleeves, creating a whimsical, ethereal, almost fairy tale atmosphere. Paired with soft pink heels, romantic hair, and delicate jewelry, the entire look felt as if it had wandered out of a secret garden and onto an awards show red carpet. Now, this outfit definitely split opinion. Some people loved its dreamy delicacy and saw it as a perfect visual translation of the folklore and Evermore worlds. Others felt it was too busy or too unconventional for the Grammys, but whether people loved it or debated it, almost everyone remembers it. And that, in its own way, is a mark of a successful fashion moment. It captured attention, it reflected a specific artistic mood. It communicated something real about the music she was making at the time. The genius of this look lies in how well it matched the emotional landscape of those pandemic-era albums. Folklore and Evermore were quieter, more introspective records, filled with woodsy imagery, storytelling, melancholy, fantasy, and emotional subtlety. The dress reflected that world beautifully. It did not aim for sleek sexiness or traditional glamour. Instead, it leaned into softness, imagination, and a kind of literary romanticism. Taylor looked less like a conventional pop diva and more like the heroine of a modern myth, someone suspended between realism and dream. That night, she won Album of the Year for Folklore, adding another layer of significance to the look. Suddenly, the dress became forever attached to one of her most important artistic victories, the moment a deeply inward, unexpected project was validated on the industry's biggest stage. The floral embroidery, the airy fabric, the romantic styling, all of it came to symbolize a period when Taylor retreated from the noise, reinvented herself again, and returned with one of the most critically acclaimed chapters of her career. Even if the look remains polarizing, its icon status is secure because it so fully embodied the spirit of the music behind it. At number 2 is the 2025 Grammy Awards, a red carpet appearance that generated instant conversation the moment Taylor arrived. She wore a glittering red Vivienne Westwood mini dress, and it was one of those looks that felt both playful and pointed at the same time. Red is a color with so much history in Taylor's visual language, it immediately calls to mind passion, intensity, romance, danger, memory, and of course her red era. But in more recent years, fans also connected it to her very public relationship with Travis Kelce, whose football world is drenched in red through the Kansas City Chiefs. So the color alone already had people talking before anyone even got to the details. And then, of course, there was the T-charm placed on the chain at her thigh, a styling choice that became one of the most discussed accessories of the night. It was flirtatious, specific, and impossible to ignore. Later, when Taylor appeared at the Super Bowl wearing a very similar charm as a necklace, many took that as confirmation that the red carpet accessory had been a direct nod to Travis. Whether one sees that choice as romantic, playful, symbolic, or simply stylish, it undeniably gave the look a personal dimension that made it more memorable than a beautiful dress alone ever could. What also made this appearance interesting was the mood she brought with it. Even in a night where not every award outcome went in her favor, Taylor still projected warmth, poise, and visible enjoyment. She danced, cheered, and seemed genuinely present, which gave the whole fashion moment a kind of ease. Sometimes a red carpet look becomes iconic not only because of the outfit itself, but because of the energy the person brings while wearing it. Taylor looked confident, radiant, and fully comfortable in the attention. That confidence elevated the dress from striking to unforgettable. There's also something clever about how the look balanced glamour with storytelling. Vivienne Westwood carries a kind of rebellious sophistication already, and Taylor paired that spirit with a dress that felt festive, romantic, and a little dangerous. It was short, sparkling, and bold, yet the styling details kept it from feeling superficial. Instead, it felt loaded with association, with clues, with emotional possibilities. Fans wondered whether it was purely romantic, whether it nodded to red, whether it hinted at new music, or whether it was simply Taylor having fun with the discourse she knows surrounds her. That ambiguity is part of the magic. She understands the game. She knows how to create an image people will want to talk about long after the event ends. Before reaching number 1, it is worth acknowledging just how many other Taylor Swift red carpet looks could easily have made this list. That alone says a lot about her longevity as a fashion presence. The 2013 Grammys gave us white Grecian elegance. The 2015 Grammys brought another side of polished glamour. The 2016 Oscars showcased sleek sophistication. The 2019 Golden Globes offered a darker, more romantic silhouette. The 2020 Golden Globes carried rich floral drama. The 2022 VMAs reminded everyone how strong she looks in crystal-heavy, body-skimming glamour. Each of those outfits had its own moment, its own atmosphere, its own connection to the era surrounding it. But some looks do more than impress. Some become part of the mythology. And that brings us to number 1. At number 1 is the 2012 Grammy Awards, the gold Zuhair Murad gown that many fans still consider Taylor Swift's most beautiful red carpet appearance ever. There is just something timeless about this look. Even after all the reinventions, all the daring experiments, all the edgy couture and era-coded symbolism that came later, this dress remains almost impossible to top. It captured Taylor at a point in her life when she still carried a strong fairy tale aura, but it did so with enough maturity and sophistication to elevate the look beyond youthful sweetness. The result was breathtaking. The gown itself was extraordinary. Made from iridescent silk and decorated with intricate gold embroidery, it shimmered in a way that felt regal without ever becoming too flashy. The high neckline gave the dress elegance and structure, while the heart-shaped cutout added just the right touch of softness and uniqueness. It was refined, romantic, and ethereal all at once. This is one of those rare dresses that feels dramatic from a distance and exquisitely detailed up close. Every angle worked. Every movement caught the light differently. It looked expensive, yes, but more importantly, it looked magical. Taylor's styling that night was equally smart. Rather than overcrowding the look, she kept things graceful and clean. She wore gold Prada sandals and swept her curls into an updo, allowing the dress to remain the focal point. That restraint is part of what makes the whole appearance so successful. Nothing fought against the gown, nothing distracted from it. She looked polished, radiant, and almost storybook in the most elevated sense of the word. And then once again, context strengthens the memory. This was during the Speak Now era, a period in Taylor's career that was filled with emotional storytelling, romantic imagery, and a sense of artistic self-authorship that mattered deeply to her growth. That night, Speak Now won Best Country Song and Best Country Solo Performance for Mean, a proud and meaningful moment in her career. She also performed at the ceremony, making the entire evening feel like a full artistic statement. The gold gown became forever tied to that success, that era, and that version of Taylor. Ambitious, elegant, youthful, and on the verge of even greater reinvention. What makes the 2012 Grammys look number one is not just that it was beautiful, it is that it has endured. Fashion changes, trends shift, public taste moves quickly, but this look still feels special. It still feels balanced, memorable, and emotionally resonant. It has the kind of timelessness that only a handful of celebrity red carpet moments ever achieve. You can look at it now and still understand instantly why people were captivated. It has fantasy, craftsmanship, and star power. It feels like Taylor Swift becoming an icon in real time. And really, that is what this whole list reveals. Taylor Swift's best red carpet looks are not just about fashion, they are about narrative. They are about how style can become a mirror for career milestones, emotional shifts, personal reinventions, and artistic eras. When she stepped out in silver armor-like sequins during Reputation, it said something. When she floated through the folklore era covered in flowers, it said something. When she arrived in midnight blue with stars scattered across her outfit, it said something. When she wore a white gown and black gloves with a watch set to midnight, it said something. Even the looks that are more playful or more romantic often feel tethered to a larger story. That is why people remain so invested in Taylor's red carpet appearances. They are not random. They are not careless. Even when a detail is playful or ambiguous, there is usually a sense that it belongs to the broader picture she is painting. And because Taylor has spent her career rewarding close attention, fans have learned to read her visuals with the same curiosity they bring to her lyrics. The red carpet becomes another text to interpret, another stage where persona, symbolism, and storytelling meet. There is also something admirable about how unafraid she has been to evolve. Not every look pleased everyone, not every fashion risk was universally celebrated in the moment. But that willingness to change, to test, to reflect a new inner landscape through outward appearance is part of what keeps her style journey so compelling. She has never allowed herself to remain frozen in one image just because it once worked. She grew out of the country curls and princess gowns. She sharpened into sleek pop minimalism. She darkened into Reputation edge. She softened into folklore romanticism. She became celestial for midnights, literary for tortured poets, and still managed to revisit glamour, nostalgia, flirtation, and theatricality whenever it suited the story. And perhaps that is the real reason Taylor Swift stands out on the red carpet. She does not just wear fashion, she uses it. She uses it to emphasize emotion, to heighten mythology, to underline a win, to tease a mood, to nod to a relationship, to honor an era, or to close one chapter while silently opening another. It becomes part of the art. That is not something every celebrity can do because it requires not only style but a sense of authorship. Taylor has that in abundance. Looking at these 10 looks together, you can almost trace the arc of her life and career through fabric, color, silhouette, and styling alone. You can see the young woman in gold becoming a star. You can see the pop titan in vivid Versace claiming the Grammys. You can see the metallic warrior hinting at Reputation. You can see the flower-covered storyteller embracing a quieter kind of brilliance. You can see the midnight muse, the tortured poet, the romantic partner, the victorious icon. The red carpet becomes a timeline, and every appearance adds another layer to the portrait. Of course, ranking fashion will always be subjective. Some fans will always prefer the soft romance of the 2021 Grammys, while others will be loyal to the fierceness of the 2018 American Music Awards or the dangerous glamour of the 2016 Met Gala. Some will argue nothing can beat the crystalline drama of the 2022 VMAs look that missed the list. Others will always return to the old Hollywood elegance of later Grammys appearances. That is part of the fun. Taylor's fashion archive is now so rich and varied that there are genuine arguments to be made for dozens of different looks. Still, if we are talking about the most impactful, era defining, memorable, and visually striking red carpet appearances of her career, these 10 absolutely belong in the conversation. They remind us that style in Taylor Swift's hands is never just decoration. It is mood, it is language, it is memory, it is performance, and sometimes it is prophecy. So, did you agree with this ranking? Which Taylor Swift red carpet looks would make your personal top 10? Is the gold Zuhair Murad gown from the 2012 Grammys truly her ultimate fashion moment, or do you think another era deserves the crown? Maybe you prefer the bold silver Balmain from the AMAs, the enchanted Oscar de la Renta from the Eras Tour film premiere, the sharp white and black Schiaparelli from the 2024 Grammys, or the unforgettable futuristic transformation at the 2016 Met Gala. Whatever your pick, one thing is clear: Taylor Swift has given us some of the most talked about, most dissected, and most memorable red carpet fashion moments of her generation. And the most exciting part is that with Taylor, there is always the sense that another iconic look could be right around the corner. Another award show, another premiere, another era, another carefully chosen detail that sends fans spiraling into theories within seconds. That is the power of an artist who understands image as deeply as she understands music. She knows how to make an entrance, she knows how to create a moment. And when those two things come together at just the right time, the result is more than a beautiful outfit. It becomes part of pop culture history.